Yes, YouTube, I hope that you're good. It's Ben Hawksworth at The Coach Consultant, and today I'm going to be covering a really important topic, and that is devil in the details. This is probably, if not the single most important topic that you need to be focusing on. So the reason that I want to do this video is because I'll see fitness professionals who will know what their target market is. They potentially have built a niche, but then they just stop there. Just having a target market and just having a niche is not enough to stimulate a response. It's definitely not enough to scale a fitness business. So what I'm going to do today is basically go through a few examples on how you can actually refine that target market, refine that niche, to then focus on areas to obviously stimulate a response via your content marketing, via your acquisition, via your sales structures, via basically everything, even down to your program design, because the more that you start to understand that person and their problems and their pain, the more that you can obviously start focusing on the resolutions and solutions for them. But most importantly today, this is going to be about, again, devil in the detail, the importance of hyper specificity to obviously stimulate response, get an action, get people on calls, get people purchasing your products, and start scaling your fitness business. Right, so before diving into a big heavy whiteboard session over there, I want to cover a few slides to kind of set the tone, set the expectation, and set the understanding, because it's all right coming in and just going through this, but I want you to really understand this, so you'll obviously come in and apply. So as a starting point, devil is just what I've added into there because, again, it's just a well-known thing. The main thing that we're looking for here is detail. We need as much detail as humanly possible. You cannot get hyper specificity without detail, right? You cannot get a response without detail, right? So when it comes into, let's just say you're throwing darts into a dartboard, you've got to seriously refine that process to hit that bullseye every single time, right? And that's basically what we're trying to do with this marketing, what we're trying to do with the content. So the first thing is understanding details, right? When you are looking at details, that is going to require effort. So that is going to require creative thinking, innovation, and time to actually do it. Because again, it's really easy to select a target market. It takes 30 minutes to build a niche worksheet, right? It does not take 30 minutes to go over everything that I'm going to be covering on this video today, and that is isolating the serious level detail of who you're obviously wanting to work with. So again, top word just to kind of go over is detail. I'm sorry to just keep reminding you over and over again, but it comes down to details, right? So just as a bit of a visual example straight away, what I want you to kind of look at here is, if we imagine, right, everything around this circle, right, so all of these people are all in white, right, that's saturation, right, that's a saturated market. This here is not where you want to be. These are the coaches who are really struggling, or again have just not learned the right information to obviously change where they are right now. So that's basically what we're looking at, right? That is saturation. We do not want to be around that point, right? What we've got today is, because I'm actually going to show you a visual target, is around the outside you've got one layer, then you're coming in, you've got another layer, then you've got another layer, and then you've got this hyper specificity in the middle, and that is what we're going to find today. That's what we're going to really dive into. So what you've got to take into account is, we do not want to be in this white space, right? We don't even want to be on the outer layer. We don't want to be on the second layer, the third layer. We want to be bang in the middle of that. And actually, I'm going to be completely honest with you, if you're going to get really specific, you probably just want that to be a male or a female as well. But again, that comes down to what your offer is and what your program is and what your experience is, because you can work with both males and females and have an incredibly successful business. But again, part of hyper specificity will come down to gender as well. So just as an overview before going to the next slide, this is probably the single most important slide, and I'm going to explain the terminology and everything in a second. So what we've basically got here is we've got layer one, right? Layer one is your target market. So as we spoke about earlier on in the video, it's really easy to come in and actually target a market, right? To turn around and go fitness industry, business sector, service delivery. So we all know what a target market is, I'm pretty sure, right? If you have not isolated a niche, then you absolutely definitely do. And if you absolutely haven't at this point, please go and watch one of my videos, which is on offer, basically the importance of obviously building an offer, and there's a great example on fishing line and weights to obviously get to the bait that we want. So we need to make sure that I've got a niche as a first starting point, right? Now this is where I see people trip up, right? They will go target market, I know that, right? Niche, I know that. So what the next point is actually basically building out a customer persona, right? And a customer persona is basically an incredibly detailed structure that you sit, you write up, you review, you go back to it, you reflect on it, you post content and acquisition strategies about it, you see what type of response you get. If you're not getting a response, it's because there's something wrong with your customer persona and what you're doing with your messaging, right? The next point from there is how you actually articulate pain. If you want to make money, in any sector or whatever it is, you have to articulate pain, right? So using something which is completely out of the fitness industry. So if you look at someone like McDonald's or something like that, right? When McDonald's drop an advert onto the TV, or maybe KFC, I'm more of a KFC fan. I do like a bit of both, to be fair. If you are really, really hungry, for example, or if you've not had a cheat meal in ages or whatever it is, or even if you're just thinking, oh, I really fancy a KFC, right? When they pop that up onto the screen and you see that chicken and it looks incredible and you're like, wow, that looks so tasty, that puts you under pain because you don't have it, right? That's basically how it works. When someone walks past you in a pair of trainers that you really, really, really like, that puts you in pain because you don't have them. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to articulate pain. And I think that sometimes, and actually a lot of the time in the fitness industry, people see pain as like a negative thing. It's, oh, I don't want to be one of them coaches. I don't want to be coming in and abusing pain points. And I don't want to be coming in and doing all that. Whereas what we need to be doing is really, really focus on articulating as much pain as humanly possible. Because if we are not coming in and we are not articulating pain, then we are not going to get a response, right? And I'm going to cover this in a second so you really, really understand why. The next point is latent conditioning, right? This basically is what people don't even know yet. What is their cost of no action, right? This is the single most important thing that you need to be focusing on, because you basically need to get that deep in the minds of your consumers and your target market that you know the problems that they are not even facing yet. If you do not take action on fat loss, muscle gain, or mindset, which I'm going to talk about in a second, this is how you are going to feel, right? Because what you're doing there is you're planting these seeds and you're planting these roots. So when they get to that point of actually experiencing that feeling or that action or that behavior, you've already spoken about it. You've already given a solution. You've already given value. So you're going to be the first person that they're going to come back to, right? So again, let's imagine that this is an onion, right? I'm just going to throw as many analogies as possible, right? You've got a cherry in the middle of this onion, right? So you've got layer number 1, target market, layer number 2, niche, layer number 3, persona, layer number 4, pain, layer number 5, latent conditioning. Sweet. Once we've got to that point, we can get to that cherry, right? But while ever you are just chewing on the outside of this onion, which is just focused on a target market, you're not going to get very far, right? So what we're looking at here is basically target market is know the direction you're actually aiming at. That's so we're shooting a gun. I'll have a gun hand, right? So target market, I know what direction, right? My target's over there, right? Niche, I don't want to be shooting people. The YouTube channels just turn really, really weird. But basically, in essence, I know who I'm aiming at. I've got my group of people, right? From that point, I've got customer persona. That's going to be isolating a single person, right? Pain, that is zooming in, right? And then latent conditioning, that is basically where you are in a position to pull the trigger. That's how you need to look at it. That's hyper specificity. So that all starts with zooming out to zoom in, to zoom in, to zoom in, zoom in, target, execution. And that's where we're going to get the best response, and we're going to be not executing people. Please do not think that I'm walking around shooting people. I'm potentially with marketing, but definitely not with real guns. So when we're coming onto here, so main thing, devil in the details. We've got a heavy session in a minute. From that point, we don't want to be in white space. We don't want to be in layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, layer 4. We want to be right in the center of that as much as possible. From that point, again, the layers are target market, niche, customer persona, pain, latent conditioning, and then that is the structure. And what I'm going to do now is basically explain this to you in a way that you've got a male lifestyle, a female lifestyle, and a bodybuilder, because they are all in the same target market, aren't they? Right? If we look at a niche, female lifestyle, that's a niche, bodybuilding, that's a niche. But what we've got to take into account is the hyper specificity of the pain and latent conditioning for them will be different, and hopefully, actually no, definitely by the time I've walked through this, you're going to understand. Right, now let's look at it from a lot more specific perspective. And this board actually represents the complete opposite, just to really, really kind of show you. So let's just look at 3 of the most common goals that most people are going to have, whether you are an athlete, whether you are female lifestyle, male lifestyle, bodybuilding, executive, CEO, whatever it is. More often than not, you're going to want to be less fat, you're going to want to have more muscle, you're going to want to have a better mindset, right? So when we're looking at this now, if we've got like female lifestyle, male lifestyle, bodybuilding, it might differentiate slightly, but more often than not, it's just going to lead to the exact same pain points and the exact same goals. So if a female lifestyle person basically lost more body fat, they gain more confidence. Male lifestyle, they might feel more attractive, but so would that person. Bodybuilding, we're obviously going to be coming in and winning shows or competing in shows, but again, they're still going to be confident and attractive, right? So from that perspective, it's very, very hard for you to get hyper specific and create a stimulus and create a response if you're going to be talking about the same stuff that everyone else is talking about. So when we're looking at muscle gain, you've got a female lifestyle, they might Be like, oh, sweet, I've got better shape, I've got better glutes, right? I feel a lot better in myself. From a male lifestyle, like, oh great, I've built a physique now, and when we're looking at bodybuilding, I've got more size. But if we look at all those again, it's exactly the same, right? A bodybuilder is going to be happy with having better shape. A male lifestyle is going to be happy with better shape. Female lifestyle is going to, again, have better size glutes or better physique. So it's all really generic information if you're focusing on it from that type of perspective. And then finally, you've got mindset. So a female lifestyle client might have a better mindset to have better control on social occasions, but so would a lifestyle person and also a bodybuilder, right? But male lifestyle, you've obviously got life, and then bodybuilder, you've got routine. So this is the point I'm really trying to make. Having a target market and having a niche isn't enough, because female lifestyle, yeah, it might be a niche area, but is it a person, right? Is it really hyper specific to a specific person? So when we're basically looking over here, right, we've got target market. Let's just cross this out. We've got target market out, we've got niche out. From that point, this is about you really starting to specifically talk about somebody, right? Do not try and aim your content, your acquisition, your sales, absolutely everybody, because it's not going to get you very far, because it's just going to get lost in the same stuff that everybody else is speaking about. Same from that point is you cannot come in and articulate pain in terms of real specificity unless you understand the actual persona and the customer persona that you're trying to target, right? Because if not, you're just going to be coming in talking about pain associated with a niche and a target market, but absolutely everybody else is talking about that, right? So it's absolutely paramount that you come in and really build this kind of, I don't actually like the word avatar. I much prefer customer persona because it's a lot more detail. Like an avatar, I've seen some of them exercises before and they're shocking. But we need to have a persona, then to how to actually articulate pain, and then most importantly to actually have the latent conditions. So I'm going to focus on this part now. So let's drop down to the end, because I can't come in and build your customer persona and create a real person. That's where you'll understand pain points a hell of a lot more and understand latent conditions a lot more. When we've got, for example, latent conditions of a female lifestyle client, let's say we've got a female lifestyle client who's a mum, or a female lifestyle client who's a young girl, or a female lifestyle client business owner, right? The latent conditions and pain for them are going to be completely different, aren't they? So for a mum, it's going to be a case of getting their confidence back compared to what they used to have. When it's a younger female lifestyle person, it's going to be coming in and having confidence to obviously go out with the friends and go on party holidays. When we've got female lifestyle person who's a CEO or business owner or middle management, that's going to have more confidence in the office, right? Did you get where I'm coming from? Like, you can't get hyper specific unless you know the person, you know the latent conditions. And then from that point, when we're looking at latent conditions, if we go through the same people again, because I'm not going to drag it out across every single one, if we look at a female lifestyle mum, the latent conditions and the cost of her not taking action is the fact that she will then get to a point where she's short-tempered, she's not sleeping well, which she won't be sleeping well anyway as a mum. She'll have less confidence and like sexual desire or sexual want from like a husband, which is going to affect a relationship and a marriage. When we're looking at latent conditions of a female lifestyle, younger female, for example, that might be a case of they don't want to go out and get a boyfriend. They don't want to go on that holiday, right? They start having really kind of negative body image, and they might even get like eating behaviors. Do you know what I mean? Like you don't have to go to that extreme, but that's what latent conditioning is about, isolating the problems that people are going to face and the cost of no action if they do not come in and do this now. And then when you are speaking to that person, you are almost future pacing where they aren't yet, but they're going to be if they carry on and they don't start taking action, for example. So latent conditions of someone watching this video might be much money, right? So I talk about all the time because I've seen it. I've worked with thousands of people. I know the ins and outs of this industry. I know the ins and outs of my audience, right? That is the cost of no action, right? If we're looking at a female lifestyle, for example, CEO as an example, the cost of no action and latent conditioning of her is the fact that if she's not as confident, she's not going to be able to turn up to work with the same type of mindset. She's not going to be able to manage a team. She might not get that promotion, right? So that's what we're basically looking for, is highlighting pain is the single most important thing to be always focusing on, but you cannot highlight pain and isolate pain until you've built out a customer persona within that niche. And then from that point, and this comes with experience, guys, once you've worked with X amount of hundreds of people or even 10 people, I'd say even once you've worked with 10 people or 15 people within a niche, you will know their pain points inside out, right? And once you've created enough content and digested enough content, that's when you can start really being more hyper specific with the latent conditions and obviously the cost of not taking action. So the main thing that, again, we're just going to repeat over and over and over again, is the devil is in the detail, right? This is why having a target market is not enough, right? Having a niche niche isn't enough. It all comes down to how you can create that in terms of hyper specificity in a 3-step process, alongside being a great coach and getting results, having social proof, having evidence, having testimonials to back up everything that you're saying. But customer persona, articulating that customer persona's pain with content, marketing and acquisition strategies, and then building out latent conditions. And what I want you to imagine again is latent conditions are like you're planting a seed, right? The content and pain is the water, and let's just say the customer persona is the sun. What we're looking for is we're looking for that seed to plant, and then we're going to find those roots, right? That is latent condition. That's the cost of not taking action, because if you get the roots, you've got everything, right? Once you are in the hearts and the minds, the emotions and the behaviors of your audience by creating these environments and talking directly to someone and understanding them more than even know themselves, that's where the real response comes from. That's where the real money comes from. So I hope that you've enjoyed this one. As always, guys, if you want to know any more information, then there's a link in my bio somewhere with S3 Smart Scaling, which covers a hell of a lot of information on that. If you want to know more and you want to chat to me, then please head over to Instagram, drop me a message. I'm more than happy to just help people for free and answer any questions that you've got. Obviously, again, as always, like and subscribe. If you've got any video ideas, or if you want any really hyper-specific questions answering, which you want me to turn into a video, just drop it into comments. I'm happy to create on demand, and I'll see you next time.